Should I fix the issue? Okay, I should fix the issue with YouTube's end. Maybe? There it is, okay. I think that fixed the issue with it. I'm making sure Twitch is okay with that change. Okay, it seems like both is okay with it. So I think we're good now. Because both are accepting the bitrate now. YouTube's a little bit weird on their connection end, so. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Today is obviously a coding talk, so we should probably be heading to coding here in a moment. I can see both chat. So I don't know if chat box is working though. So we'll have to wait and see when chat message shows up. Let's see. Okay, so Twitch chat's working. Let's try. I'm gonna say hi on YouTube here and see. Okay, so YouTube chat is not showing up in the chat at all. I'm in top chat. Let's join actual live chat and say hi. Yeah, it's not red. Oh, there it goes. It just took a minute. Okay. So the chat box on screen isn't showing it. It is. Okay, cool. So you can see both chats, YouTube and Twitch on stream cam, and as well as my little stream character as usual. As you can see here. Anyways, so let's kind of get started. What we already have, we're working on today is right now is the blue API. So I gotta get the app coded. Right now, it just starts the bot because that's what the API really starts the bot on its own. We have a basic bot code. I'm not going into like extreme details with the bot at all or anything like that. Like, I'm not having any event handlers or command handlers or anything like that. I plan on just doing simple command handling within the thing, because it's only going to be one command anyways, and that's to create the API keys, which I'm going to go ahead and make now. First we need to do, before the bot starts, I want to go ahead and make a Mongoose connection. And to do that, we want to const require const mongoose to require mongoose. That will get our Mongo database. There. Oh no. Oh well. If YouTube's not getting anything, it'll be fine. Okay. Anyway, so we got our Mongoose and ported down. So what we want to do is mongoose.connect. We're into the URL, which is simple, the Mongo URL from the config. Go into config here, .mongodb, and we have no options there. Now that will import our database and connect it. Now we do want to tell when things are connected, so we're going to do .then. And we're going to say logs info async. We say database connected. Now we already have a database schema over here. And I'm gonna. So what this does is generates a database schema with the key of API keys, and that will simply create an API key upon actuation command, and we'll also use it to check for API keys through our system. Now, lucky for me, I have code from an API that I can use. Now, you may remember RAM API, right? And RAM API works awesome. However, you can't just create your own keys. You have to request it, and then I will run a command through the RAM API bot. However, and then RAM API 2 recently came out. Now you can just sign in your own. Now, this isn't getting a account creation endpoint, like most people think. The bot will be handling creation of keys, like RAM API does. However, the only difference is anyone can assign a key now. So all you have to do is be part of the server and generate your key. Now the goal with that is to just make sure that you get the key and it has an ID associated. That way, if it's spammed or whatever, I can ban a user ID instead of having to. Because the issue with RAM API's 2 setup is you can easily just recreate yourself an account easily. So the goal is to have a way to where, and also I can't restrict tokens on RAM API 2. And so where I can restrict the API keys and also prevent the users from creating one. And to do that, we need a bot. So we'll go ahead and start with a simple setup. We're going to do a new helper. And I should and actually I need to update that npm discord helper .ts latest. That way I get the latest of it. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is utils, and I should get the helper utils now. There's nothing for their name. Actually, no, it's not helper utils, it's helper client. Sorry. Then we'll pass in this for the client. Then we're just gonna do the global command to register async. Now it has options. We're going to set the name of the command. This is going to be called API key. Description, which will be get yourself API key. And that will basically register a key through the API. Okay. Next, we want to do is type. Now, this will be application command type dot chat input, and then the options. Options. We don't have any actually for this, because with this, all we need is the Discord ID. That's all we need. From there, I respond with an info with a key. That's where this gets simple. That's because there is no options. We can just leave it like that. Now permissions. I strongly recommend. I'm gonna be setting it to send messages in the future, but for now, I'm gonna be setting it to administrator, not add reactions. The administrator. For now, that way only I can run it for testing purposes. Okay. So now that we have our bots command being created, we're gonna send this dot on interaction create, which you use the interaction. Okay. So first we're going to do is if interaction is not equal to is if not interaction dot is command, we're gonna return nothing, because we want to ignore any button clicks or whatever if there is a button that is created. We're gonna switch our interaction dot command name in case we do decide to come up with more commands. I believe it doesn't have, it's not a function of it. Then we're gonna switch we already switched, okay. But that created what we needed. Okay. So we're gonna have a command of API key as up here. And from here we're just gonna for now, interaction dot reply. And I'm gonna say hello. Well, first we're gonna do context. Key here. And Farrell. True. Okay. So we now have our code to test. But I'm just doing a simple API key here. Key here for now as a response before I code up the key system to make sure that we got the key system 100% working. I am double checking the stream real quick. Okay, stream's healthy again. Cool. Alright, anyways, so that's how I'm handling that. So now but one thing. You scored too many things. Okay. What I'm gonna do real quick is head into a studio mode here. Get this live stream. And instead of it being properties, more select this. No. Discord. Okay. Oh. Let's add new window capture. And we'll set that one to there we go. Now if I go to right here, we have two separate things. But yeah, that's how this code works. It creates the command and we're trying it out. Right? Let's try and get here. We're wasting time here. We're gonna do no dot. So as you can see, my Discord helper.js system has outputted a log system into our chat here. It's letting us know that the command has been registered to the bot. And the bot is also, we also have the bot is online, and then we also have the database is connected. So that is very important. So now, and 1 second here, I'm not going to switch just to the whole thing here and then select the. So now if we go over to Discord, we can try it out. So we have the Blue API and we have API key. And key here. Now, obviously this is less complex than RAM API was. RAM API has many options, that's the reason why it's part of the request. Here it's only going to be one option, and the best news is the rate limit's going to be a lot better than it is in RAM API. I'll show you how RAM API works for me to assign. I just basically select the user, so I'm going to say RAM API for now, and then I select the options. So obviously, RAM API system's a little bit more difficult. However, for Blue API, I don't need to make it this oddly complex code that no one will know how to use, if that makes sense. So now what we can do is head over to our code again and actually code in the functionality to this. And to do that, we will simply do is come up here. We're going to import our const. And actually what we can do, because if you remember, we just want to enter a keys database. So we come here to here. I'm going to make this asynchronous. Okay, we're going to say let data, key data, equal to await. Now we're just looking for key database dot find one. We want to find one by the ID of interaction.member.id. Now, so what we're going to do is if data, or not data, key data. So if key data already exists, we're going to check if. So if key data already exists, we're going to say interaction.reply content. So we're going to do content. From there, I'm going to say you already have a key. Now, since they already have the key, they just may not remember it. We're going to head and give them their key back. So key data. And I'm going to say key data. And by it's not ID, I forgot. we want to put their user ID, because that's what it's under. The ID is actually for the key. Now, get to that logic later. It's key data dot underscore ID. So that embeds ephemeral, and we'll say that it's true. So they'll get the key back here if they already have it. Now, you may be wondering, how do I reset my key? Simple. You just open it like it. Eventually, though, I will make a way to where you can reset your key. Actually, no, we'll do that to you as well in the stream. We're going to create a command that will recreate the API key. But for now, so we have that. It gives them back their key if they already have one. And we might as well do this. So we're going to do /n to remake a new key run / regen key. Recreate key. So what that would do is if you're on test recreate key, it will delete your old key and regenerate a new one and send you the new one. If you don't have a key, simple. It will just tell you to run API key. And actually, we're going to head and do this create key. And then we're going to come up here and create key. To make it more unique, and what we'll do is copy and paste this down by one and run recreate. Now, obviously, we have a command now that's invalid. So what we're going to do is after this break, we're going to run default. What we're going to do is interaction dot actually no, we're gonna do this. This dot applications dot commands dot delete command interaction dot command ID. So what that does is it deletes it. Now you may be wondering, if we create a command, we also will now have to create one. Okay, there we go. So what we want to do is test that theory. So what that will do is delete the command if it's no longer existent, because you may notice it's no longer existent now. But if we head over to Discord and wait patiently, there we go. So you notice it's still there, but now if we run it, nothing will happen. It will actually just delete it out of the system. See, now it's gone. So that deletes the key. That way, if you have global registry or local registry, it will delete it for you as on registering. Now, you may have noticed it didn't give us output. So I want to fix that real quick. So after it deletes it, I want to run interaction get reply. Command no longer here. And then, simple as that, it will just reply with that. And to test that, what we can do, let's create a dummy command. I'm going to say hello for now. And we're actually going to recreate your key. Okay. So now we have that. So let's go ahead and try it out. And then that way I don't accidentally recreate it. And as you can see, it created the hello. Just give it a moment here and it'll say hello. And if we turn that, it will say command no longer here. And when you type in slash, it will delete it. Now this is why it's important to add the case for that command. So this is why it's important to add the case to the command. I run it one more time because you probably didn't get to see it. So I have it recreate it. Real quick. Let me beat the bot. Okay. So I have the command recreated. So if we come here, we can see hello is created. If we run hello, it says command no longer there. If we come back in, it's no longer there. So it gives a little bit of a. That's why it's important to add the case. Because if you don't add the case, it will not add it to anything. So you'll end up being like, why is this not working? To find out that all it was simply an issue with the fact that you didn't find the case, so it went to the default option. And that's not good either if you want to have good working code. Anyways, now that we got that situated, so now we'll delete the command if it's no longer existent. That way, if you make a change the name, or whatever you do to your command handler, it will no longer delete. In this case, the API will know, hey, this command no longer exists, let's delete it. Okay. Anyways, so now we have the key data. So we already know it doesn't exist at this point. And I forgot to do this. You want to return. So you actually don't need that. So all you're doing is returning data if it exists. And I'm also gonna add, no, I'm not gonna add that. Okay, anyways, next we want to do is 2 more lines of code here for this creation. We're gonna say key data dot create. So we're gonna wait key data. I believe it's new key data dot create. Is it just key? Give me 1 second here. Because the way RAM API works, it's different than this, because RAM API, the way it does is there's a private endpoint that controls this, so I don't exactly have it via a command like I do here. How do I do it here? Well, first we need to randomize the key. So I'm gonna head and do that real quick. It's gonna be a, let's see here. It's a good API key length. Let's do it at 15. It's gonna be a 15 character key that gets generated. That's perfect. We're gonna do is let API key created. We're gonna equal that to array of 20. Oh no, 20, 15. Dot fill. Okay. Now this is where it gets a little bit weird. So what we're doing is I'm gonna paste in this characters. Is the bot basically is gonna create a key. Randomize a key based off of these values. Now, here's where it gets complicated. I'm also going to copy and paste this part in for now. I guess I don't know if I cut in the whole thing. But anyways, what this does is it creates a random thing. Now, you may be wondering, what if it creates a duplicate key? That's where the ID comes in handy, actually. doing it by ID. So we don't want it creating the same key. So what we're going to do actually, let's come down here and create an async function. API key create, and it's gonna return key. So what we're gonna do is simply so what it's going to do is go through until it finally finds one. So what we're going to do is let data equal to key database dot find one, and we're going to find one by its ID this time. And we're just going to simply put pass the API keys created. So what this does is it checks to make sure that the key doesn't exist in the database. Now, what we're doing. Okay, so now all we gotta do is simply run. So if data, we're not going to do anything, we're just gonna rerun the rerun create. Okay, so that's up to us. Otherwise, if it doesn't exist, we would actually want to create the database with this data, because we already have the API key that is created at this point. So what we can do is key database dot create ID API key. Oops. API key created. Now we're also going to pass in the user ID. And the user ID will simply be the user ID that we pass. Alright, so now that we have that, we also want to do real quick is a return of the API key created. And there we go. So now we have an API key that is created. This basically, all this does is verify that the key that it created or generated does not already exist. Because as good as I don't want that to happen, and it has yet to happen to RAM API, I actually need to update RAM API's code to do this check as well. But I don't fully trust the fact that it may not duplicate the key. And that's not what we want. Because if I restrict the key and I see two duplicates, there's going to be an issue figuring out which key is actually spamming versus which one's not. And I'll have no choice but to ban both. So to prevent that issue, we just do this. Now, there's a bunch of combinations probably, because I'm not sure exactly how many with 15 character keys can happen. If we run out, I'll just start raising up the count of keys that can exist. Because I can make 16, 17, 18, 19 till I can no longer give it more characters. But 15 is a good start. I should get plenty of wiggle room. Anyways, now that we have the key functionality. So basically what this does is it reruns it itself. If it which shouldn't happen, so we should be good there. So what we're going to do is let key equal to key API key create. I'm going to pass in the user ID, so interaction.member.id dot, and that's it. So that will, and we're gonna write that. Now, I want to. I'm gonna look up into something real quick because I believe Discord.js has a functionality for this. Oh, I don't want this to be picked up from stream in case it's. Give me 1 second here. Actually, I just thought about something. I'm not sure why I didn't do this sooner. We should be listening to Halloween music. Let's look for a playlist. And what I do here is go to my stream music only. Run this, stop. Let's stop the music. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. There we go. Now I'm gonna change the volume back to 10. There we go. Now it's Halloween music themed. Okay, now. Okay. Anyways, so now we have the key that's created on our listing. Now there is one thing I do want to look at, and I'll be right back once I figured that out. It's not. Why is that key not working? Oh, wrong source. We're gonna set it to the mic. Okay. Alright, I figured it out. So there's a thing where we can await for a certain amount of time. What this does is allows us to do certain things. So what we have to do is const wait equals to require node. We're like for no timers. And it's gonna be promises. Dot set timeout. Okay. So what that does is allows us to wait for a certain period of time before we run the next command. So for the key system, if there's no key yet, what we're gonna do is interaction dot reply, or no, differ reply, and what we're gonna do is wait. We're gonna give it 5 seconds to create a key. This way, it has time to save to the database and return a key in case of a issue, such as a key's already exists. And if it keeps going into constant keys, we need a way to be able to tell that, hey, you already exist. I'm sorry I'm taking forever. Please give me a moment. But we can't do that. So we're going to do this. So enter, and in 5 seconds is pretty decent. Now, we have to edit a reply now. So we have the key. You can do content. Here is the key you requested. Space, and then we're going to say key. Now we're going to say information else, that way it's not broadcasted out. And boom. Now we're set. We're all hooked up and all of that mess. And we're good to go. Alright. Now all we have to do is test it. We're going to run it. Here. And then we'll head to the bot. And try it out. So what we want to do is run create key. And it didn't work. Let's see why it didn't work, shall we? Okay. Extrafy has not been sent or deferred. Which line of code? 83. Somewhere something is sending a reply? Huh? Oh, 46. Yeah. That might help be useful. Oh, I need to away all of these. That might be helpful. Okay, so now if we go to other, here, let's try that key command again. So Blue E API is thinking. It's a good thing I didn't have put that key. Jeez. So we can actually make that an ephemeral reply by simply adding that. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. So I'm gonna let key to go. If key equals to no, we're just simply do nothing. So instead of doing this mess, all that would do is and what we do now is return key. Okay. So we have now our key created. So we should be able to get a response out of that. And now it's ephemeral, so we should be set there. So we got our commands. Let's try that again. So if we try that command once more. As you can see, now it's ephemeral. Users can dismiss the message. I hope no one does. Okay, no 8 key made error. Try again later. Now what I do want to check is it actually creating a key? And it's not. I'm actually gonna drop that collection as well. Let's try it one more time. Okay, so I ran into a slight problem. The actual database is not made, so we'll quick, well. Okay, that's correct, so I don't know. So it's not creating the key, it's also not creating the database entry like it's supposed to. So on that, let me try. Let's await this. I think that may need to be awaited. So I can create the key. So let's try that. Okay, the bot is thinking, so it's gonna be pulling. Did it at least create it now? How did I? I did everything correctly, actually, to what it's asking. What I did last time. I am honestly not sure why it's not working, because it should. Let me have the bot do the connection. Actually, hold on a minute. How did I do the connection on my API? I know it's an app. So we got Mongoose that connect. Yeah, I got it exactly to a T. How it's supposed to work, so. And the Mongoose connects way before the bot connects, so. Let me check database here. Yeah, that is exactly how it's supposed to be. Or minus this difference, but that shouldn't make it matter, actually. Because we're just passing out the key. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to do some quick rewriting of this database stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay. So what I did is I pulled the exact code that RAM API uses for now. I'm gonna pass the ID as the email, since it's a string. Anyways, so what I'm doing now is instead of the original setup of just passing on it as a separate value, I decided to do separate file folders. So what we can do now is delete this and say const keys equal to require other databases and an API key. So that puts it exactly how RAM API works with it. Use passing keys. Okay, there we go. So now it should work because we have exactly the same way as our code is supposed to anticipate. At least what RAM API is anticipating on how it works. It is very complex to figure out what each code does and stuff like that, and how it functions. So let's give that a go. So we come here and create key. It's gonna think for a moment. But did it at least create a database entry? That's the key difference. Is it's not creating our database entry inside the database, which is, believe it or not, making it harder to troubleshoot because we're not even getting a key. The only other thing I can think of is to start going ahead and putting in some console logs. So what's console.log? Hello. Oh, we're supposed to be awaiting that. That's what's going on. We're not awaiting. I bet you that's what it was. Now if we await, there's nothing there. I'm not sure why I did that. Let's try that now. Let's see if that works. There we go. We officially have a key, and I believe that should have created our database. Yes, it did. Okay, cool. Now, obviously, it didn't put it in correctly, so we have to delete it again. But that's how it works. So, I want to do is keep the user ID the same, because I like user ID better. So we're going to just replace email user ID, and that simply regenerates it. So what we can do is try it out again. And see if we get a key ship to outside us. There we go. We officially have our key, and in the database it has the user ID and then the key. Alright, so that's some basic code there. Obviously there's more to an API than what I'm doing currently. So let's get to the more advanced API stuff. I won't be doing the recreate command today or anything like that. I'll be doing those off stream probably because it takes time to code, and obviously we don't have that kind of time. So if we come to that, we're done with the bot for now. The bot is coded and all that mess, and we're working out through all the troubleshooting steps and all of that. So what do we have now that's left? Well, simple. All we have left is to set up the app. Now, I have packages set up installed. It's very useful to this like Swagger JS docs and all of that mess. So we're gonna set up the docs page because we want documentation. That is the number one thing APIs have. And to get started, we want a little bit of customization here. So in the source folder, we're going to create a new file and call it dark.css. Or not .css, sorry. darkcss.js. So what that's going to do is apply our dark theme to the documentation of the API. That is very important, actually, because if we don't do this, what's going to happen is our dark theme is going to be overridden a little bit. So we're going to make sure that we have our dark theme set up correctly. We're going to do custom. We're going to do export .css dark equals to this. Now, I don't feel like going through this whole entire thing typing word for word, and ManyAPI already has it coded for me, so I'm going to just copy and paste and then change a few values. So just give me one and actually what I can do is just copy the raw data. Okay. Now, we do have to change out this information. So, what we're going to do is first we need to find out so we have a favecon. So we're going to go ahead and just copy that favecon over. We're also going to change this to Bluey API. There we go. So now we have the two changes that we have to make on this. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm not sure who you are. Didn't show you in chat, so hi, welcome to the stream. You must have either one deleted your message or something because it's not showing up. So anyways, so what we have now is set up is we can go back to app. I also want to create one more thing because although I don't like this song. I'm done with Discord for now. Let's go ahead and I am done with Halloween songs for now. I mean, as much as they're fun and all to listen to, a lot of them are just too distracting for me when I'm coding. So we're gonna head back to our normal song queue here. Okay. So we basically got what our basic of the docs is. So now what we need to do is finish up coding our app stuff. First, we need favecon to serve our favecon. Of course, all of our JS stuff. We need to do a rate limiter. We're going to import that. We're also gonna not worry about session. I don't think I'll go ahead and import it because it looks like I need it. Okay. We need Express. And then we need to import our app. I think that's it for this. So we're going to start off with Swagger. So the first option is Swagger options. So this creates the options for Swagger. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it once again because I don't feel like. Anyways, so we have a different way of doing things here. So we're gonna say this is Bluey API. This will be version 1. And this is not outdated. Okay, so that is simply it right there. Oh, but real quick, just so you guys know, the way it works is the URL set up for this is API. It's gonna be /API /hello, for example, a no version. You don't have any say on the version because I'm making it simple as stick on this one. Anyways, I'll be right back in a few minutes. So, I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
All the ways that you make me, build me up on the things I lack. I don't ever wanna lose you now. 'Cause I don't think I'll make it here now. 'Cause it's you and only you. 'Cause it's you and only you. 'Cause it's you and only you. I don't know where the time goes, just flies when I hold you close. In my arms with your eyes closed, for the first time I've got hope. I don't ever wanna lose you now. I don't think I'll make it here now. I don't ever wanna lose you now. I don't think I'll make it here now. 'Cause it's you and only. Because it's you and only you.
I am back. That's better. Okay. So anyways, that's how we're gonna do it. There's no versioning to this. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Versioning RAM API was the worst thing I've ever done. RAM API 2 aims to resolve that as well, so we'll see how that goes. I am not too sure why I did that this way, where versioning changes everything and things get speciated. It's just a mess when I add things to it. But don't worry, I plan to actually resolve that issue. Anyways, we now have the base of that set up. So we're going to skip all these other swaggers that RAM API has because it has to have multiple. So what we're going to do is const CSS dark equals to require. We're going to require it from / dark CSS. And there we go. So now we have our dark CSS and stuff like that imported from it. That's why there's missing. Active services 2, yeah. Then it says, okay, so it equals to that. That equals to that. Then that. Ah, that's where it's missing. It's missing one there. Oh, no, it's not. Servers. There's 2 there. Yeah. Why is it complaining then? Oh, that's right, it's complaining. That's not supposed to be there. Okay. Anyways, what we're going to do is now is const swagger docs. We're going to equal that to swagger JS docs. Swagger options. And boom. And also, we're going to do is now from there. Now, I have to create a middleware real quick. I'm going to come to other, new file, and call it middle, or API key checker. So this is where the keys get checked. So what we're going to do is const keys equals to require. We're going to go ahead and our API key. database here. Now we're gonna do snap const value the date key with the async request resolve and then next. So this is the middleware that goes in between the request and the output of the request that makes sure that the key is valid. If the key is invalid, so if the key is invalid, it will simply error out saying that something's not right. So we'll just say error out with that reasoning. So the first thing we want to do is pull the host. We want to post host is equals to request dot headers dot origin Now, this is what gets our headers. Because our key is going to be located within the headers of the value. You pass it through the headers. It's actually going to be a custom header. So, we need to make sure we pull the header for that. We're going to let API key equal to request dot headers dot request a header. Now this is where you set the value what the header should be. I like doing just API key because that makes the most sense. That's what my API is currently set for. So now we pulled the key down. So we're going to do is if no API key. We're going to return a res.status of 403. And we're going to send this response. So we're going to send a simple error code. So we're going to say error. And we're going to pass in our error. So code 403. This is simply done. So, and then we'll say message. Oops, not that. Message. Which be simply, you need a key join. Is this about your to my Discord? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. You join that URL and run /create key. There we go. So what that does is explain how to get the key for yourself because it's self-assignable. You don't need a request. If you're wondering what an API has, it's actually just simply that. It's just asking you to create the key, get a key from the Discord. But anyways, so now we're finished with that. So now we know if we don't have a key. Yeah. Okay, I'm not logging it. Const data. 08 keys. Got find. I'm gonna find one. I'm gonna do the ID of the API key. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So we're going to do if data exists, we'll say next, because the key exists. Otherwise, we're going to say the same thing as up here. And there we go. There we go. So it's doing that simply does is if it exists, you can go ahead and continue the request. If it doesn't, output the same error as if they didn't provide a key. That basically says, okay, so this key does not exist in my database, so it means I was never created. Or it was banned, whatever the reason behind it is. I cannot tell, because when you get removed, your key actually doesn't, your database entry doesn't go away. The key just gets changed to to a certain key that no one can figure out. And that is just simply me generating something really long and complicated to guess even, so. But yeah, that's how I prevent keys from being duplicated, actually. But being banned and being used when they're banned, so. And the key does get recycled, actually, so eventually that key, the key won't work anymore. I'll have to think about that later on, because that's gonna be complicated, because what I want to do is have a way for keys to be banned, so I need to create a private command for me to learn that I can take, hey, ban this key, ban that key, etc. But anyways, now we have that. What we're doing is const. So now we can go back here into app, because the main application spread is going to be running it. So if we scroll down here to where we were, so we're going to say const API. And then we're going to equals that to require. Then we're going to require ourselves r/other and then our key checker. So what that does is, if the key doesn't exist, it will run that checker basically, but we haven't really used that yet, so I won't be able to clean it, because I'm not going to be coding endpoints in this stream. I'm actually almost out of my time here, so we're going to head and need an app, const app to express an app.use. I'm going to set the favecon to path. Now I can duplicate this const path to require path. So we're going to do path.join directory name assets and fave icon dot png. Now it's gonna say that is completely incorrect, because it kind of is. So we're gonna do is assets, and I want to reveal that in File Explorer real quick and go to my downloads. It's actually a bit different in this bot, so let's go and paste it in. Okay, so as you can see, we now have a favicon. We're going to simply do JPG, and that would do is set the favicon to that file. Okay, we're almost there to creating the first one. So what we want to do is app.use now, because the URL is going to be weird, we actually want to go ahead and use session API for all of the routes. And we're going to do docs first. We're going to start with docs. Swagger UI.serve request result. So I'm gonna let HTML just do Swagger UI.generate HTML Swagger docs and then CSS dark. Unres.send HTML. So now we have what we've been looking for this whole entire time. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for that part for now. I'll do the rate limiting and stuff like that after, including the handling when the URL's not in there. So we're going to use app.listen. And we're going to listen to for 2025. Because that's the next part that I have available open on the server. And then what we can do is console.log learning. Actually, it's not even console.log, it's logs .info async API online. There we go. So now if I just to reboot and then open up Firefox here. Alright, so now if we head up to, let's see here, Firefox here. I'm gonna show you guys in just a second. We're gonna switch our window here. Display capture here. And we'll capture display primary. Okay. There we go. So now we have the primary here. Right, now we're going to do local. Oh, did it start? No, it did not. It errored. It's saying that there's no assets folder for that. And that might be due to the fact I had a misspelling of the name actually. So let's fix that. There we go. Now it's online. We're gonna go ahead and Go back to the other. I had the Firefox. Local host. 2025. API/docs. And boom. We have docs invitation. Well, that's all the time I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. And I'd like to see you guys in the next one. I'll be in the chatting for a moment. We're in this ending of the stream while you guys listen to the music. I might keep it up for a few minutes or hours, whatever, how long I feel like it. Because I feel like you guys should be able to listen to some good music for a bit. Wow. And anyways, see you guys later.
The lights in my head aren't shining no more. I don't know if I can do this anymore.